To write good essays, reports, reviews, or even stories, it's important that you first know how to write a good paragraph. Today's English lesson is a writing lesson, and I will teach you exactly how to write a good paragraph in English. Hello, my name's Cara and I'm an English teacher. If it's your first time here, welcome. I teach English here on this website, Number One Institute. And some days I teach grammar, speaking, pronunciation, listening. But today's lesson is a writing lesson. So in today's lesson, I will teach you what is special about writing in English compared to in other languages. Number 2, how to structure a paragraph. 3, some useful linking words. And number 4, I'll tell you about some common mistakes that students make. In different languages or in different countries and cultures, there is a different understanding of what makes an academic essay good or correct. So here are some of the differences or the special things about English, what we consider good and correct. Firstly, we like to state the opinion or the thesis statement right at the beginning. So it's not a surprise or not something that you arrive at the end of the essay, which it is in some languages. We generally avoid phrases like I think or I believe because it's understood that everything that is included is the writer's thoughts or opinions. Not all paragraphs need to be the same length, and neither do all sentences. If you're studying for IELTS or TOEFL or an exam, you might find that the paragraphs are generally the same length, but that's not always true in academic English or in any English paragraph. We do like to avoid really long sentences though, compared to many other countries. Something that is really important in English is the logic and the order. So one way that we can achieve this is using good, appropriate linking words. And I'm going to explain this a bit further later. In my opinion, the most important thing about English writing is that we are clear and concise. So that means we don't want to include any unnecessary words. You could always ask yourself, does this word or phrase really help me say what I want to say? Or does it just sound nice? It's actually more important to be clear than to use impressive or long words or phrases. So say it simply, be clear, and if it's not necessary, delete. Okay, so let's talk about how we structure a paragraph. Each paragraph starts with a topic sentence. Remember, a paragraph is a group of sentences about one idea or one theme. In a larger essay, you use the topic sentence to connect the essay topic to the theme of this paragraph. Knowing this can also help you skim read. If you read the first sentence of every paragraph, you would have a good idea of what the article, essay, or book is about. Of course, you wouldn't have any of the details. This comes next. So let's write an example topic sentence. Imagine you are writing an essay about how technology has changed how we live. You will have a few paragraphs with different themes, But the first one will be about personal technology, like computers and iPhones. So, your topic sentence needs to connect personal devices to how they have changed how we live. One of the most observable impacts of technology on our daily lives can be seen by the dramatic growth in the use of personal devices over the last 2 decades. You can see how I have connected how technology has changed how we live by using impact of technology on our daily lives and then introduced the theme of this paragraph. Now the next step is to come up with a couple of supporting statements. We have become accustomed to having the internet and that wealth of information at our fingertips. Further, we can instantly connect to our family and friends through video calls and instant messaging. So here I have added 2 supporting statements. The first one is about the access to information, and the second is about connecting with people. To help illustrate these points, it's useful to now add in some examples or statistics, depending what is more relevant. I will add both. We have become accustomed to having the internet and that wealth of information at our fingertips. Today, more than 3.8 billion people have a smartphone and can instantly search for the answer to any question. Before the iPhone launched in 2007, you might have had to ask someone, do some research, or discover your own answer. And for our second supporting statement, further, we can instantly connect to our family and friends through video calls and instant messaging. No longer do we need to rely on landline phones, post, or telegrams. Now, some paragraphs are better with a linking sentence, which links this paragraph to the next. Or you might choose to start the next paragraph with a link to this one. I'll show you both. Let's say the next paragraph is about technology at work. Daily life is certainly one of the greatest domains that have changed with the advancement in technology. Another area which has been dramatically changed by technology is the workplace. So there's no linking sentence at the end of the first paragraph, but the next paragraph starts, in addition to the impacts of technology in our personal lives, the workplace has also changed significantly. This isn't always necessary, but if you think the paragraphs are too distinct, too separate, then it's a useful way to create cohesion. So let's move on to useful linking words. As I mentioned, logic and order are really important in good English writing. One of the best ways to achieve this is to use appropriate linking words. There are many different ones, and I have included a list on this website, so you can go and have a look there. I've also included some links to other pages that I think have excellent linking words and examples. So the most common are firstly, secondly, thirdly, finally, lastly, so in addition, moreover, furthermore, and in conclusion. I suggest you keep a list of these, the ones you like, at your desk, in your notebook, or in your smartphone. Include the ones that you are confident using, but you might forget. Include ones that you need to practice. Try to vary the ones that you use, especially if you have a teacher giving you feedback on your writing. You can even keep track of which ones you use to encourage you to use some of the others. Finally, let's look at some of the mistakes that I notice students making. In academic essays and other writing, like reports, we always use formal language. So we don't use words like gonna and wanna. These words are only ever spoken, or maybe in a text message, which is like spoken English. We also avoid I in formal writing. So we don't say I think or I believe or tell a story about ourselves. Number 2, wordiness. This just means students using too many words. So in English, we say it in as few words as possible. So always when you're editing, think, can I delete anything? Any words or any phrases? Now, one of the reasons that this can happen is students are translating from their language into English. And because of that, they often include too many words. So on this website, I have a link with some tips on how to reduce your wordiness. And finally, lack of clarity, or the writing is confusing. So this can happen often when the sentences are too long. So maybe in your language, you write long sentences and you might even connect sentences with a comma, which we don't do as often in English. So avoid long sentences and it will make it easier for English speakers to read your writing. It can also happen if the paragraph starts to go in different directions. It's important that you stay on the one theme. Of course, linking words can really help you to organize your ideas and make it easy for the reader to follow. If you follow the structure that I taught you earlier, you should be okay at staying on the theme and keeping your writing clear and easily understood. Well, that's it. I really hope this is useful. If it was, you might also like these videos that I have done on writing. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday with another lesson. Okay, bye.